Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you are all doing well. I am busy here this morning at the shop getting the first round of orders shipped for my reselling business. I got about 19 orders to get packed up and shipped out before midday pretty much. I also got a bunch of brand new inventory that I'm going to go through today, get processed. It's like 50 or 60 items that I have to get done. But nonetheless, I have been getting asked a lot about the looming recession and what's happening in our economy and the markets. And if I have any opinions on it, you know, owning a full-time business that generates all my income. And I know you probably have heard of, you know, like the Silicon Valley Bank going under, and that's a really interesting thing happening there, and just all this stuff, and you know, the fear and the looming recession, you know, that you hear in the headlines on all the news stations and then the tabloids, and pretty much everywhere you look, people are talking about the looming recession. So what are my thoughts as a full-time online reseller, as a business owner, as a entrepreneur? What am I going to do with my business? What's my game plan, and what's my overall thoughts of this recession and what it means for us? So let's jump right into it. Okay, first things first, my name is Jacob. I own a full-time online reselling business, and if you don't know what that is, it is where I buy and sell stuff primarily on sites like eBay and Poshmark. For this instance, my business primarily deals in secondhand apparel. So think like the Goodwill for the internet. That is my business. So that is what I'm solely going to be speaking from my experience growing and owning this business for the past 5 years. With that being said, I'm also going to preface this by saying I am not an economist. You know, I am not classically educated in any of this stuff. I am solely speaking from a business owner and entrepreneurial perspective, but I think I have some valuable points and information that if you are an aspiring business owner or entrepreneur, I think you need to hear. Let's start with my business personally, with this really interesting time in our economy and the markets, with the looming recession. You know, how is my business holding up as of late? Well, I'll actually break down a couple metrics for you all so you can have a full understanding of how my business is actually doing right now. As far as sales go, sales are very healthy. You know, this is a typical morning of shipping for my business, between 20 to 30 orders. And well, that's exactly what I'm doing this morning. Sales actually for the past month or two have been extremely stable, extremely healthy. Everything from my loss leader, low end items, all the way up to some luxury items have been selling for my business. So everything across the board, stuff that's $5 all the way up to several $100 has been selling. So that's a really interest. As far as the sales for my business, it's been very healthy and very stable. As far as the amount of customers and buyers for my business, which is another metric that I like to look at, I am attracting a lot of new buyers into my business that are actually making purchases. So really overall, my business is very healthy and it's doing very well despite what people are talking about in the economy. I have not seen any effects translate over to my business. But with that being said, what are my game plans for if the economy really does take a down swing? Well, I actually have two contradicting opinions that I think are going to be very valuable for you to hear. So let me break them down for you, because I have a solid game plan in place and I think there's a ton of opportunity ahead, so don't miss out. Okay, so what do you mean there is opportunity in a downturn? Well, let me explain, but before I jump into that, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been supporting the channel thus far. You guys are literally the best, and I could not make these videos without your support. So if you found something valuable out of this channel or you enjoyed this video, then I would really appreciate it if you hit that like button, consider subscribing. We're building a really cool hub here for entrepreneurs, resellers, and business owners, and I've been, like I said, I've been having a ton of fun making these videos. Thank you. But now, what is this great opportunity if the economy takes a downturn? Well, let me use this item as an example. This jacket right here. See, the deal is, and I think it might be human nature, us as people, we are consumers, and really the statistics of our economy back that up. We are definitely a consumer driven economy. So look at this jacket, for example. This jacket is from a company called Vowel. It's a super nice wool parka jacket. It's got genuine fur on the collar, and this jacket typically, it's a high fashion brand jacket. It typically retails for about $2,000 to $1,000, which is insane. But what happens if the economy takes a downturn? My business deals in secondhand apparel, and if we are all consumers, to our core, and we drive this economy through consumerism, well, what happens when you're not willing to fork up $2,000 or $3,000 at the luxury mall to buy this retail? Well, you might look to the secondhand market to buy it for $300, $400, $500 instead. That is precisely where the opportunity lies, at least for my industry. When people aren't willing to go out and pay big retail prices for stuff, but they still want to itch that consumer feeling that we have, the feeling of getting new stuff and enjoying it. Well, I think a lot of people are going to turn to the secondhand markets. Now, by no means am I saying that the industry that I'm involved in is recession proof. I'm not saying that whatsoever, but I am saying that there is a opportunity to attract a lot of new buyers and customers into this industry. The deal is, if the economy does take a downturn and we do enter kind of a winter or a pretty bad recession, and people lose their jobs and their income really tightens up, it's just human nature for people to look for different avenues to get the things that they want and they need. Depending on what happens with the economy, I really think there's going to be some massive opportunities to gobble up market share, depending on how you position and strategize with your business. Okay, so before I actually bring up my second point, which kind of contradicts my first point of how I'm going to position myself and my business, what do I actually think is going to happen with the economy? Again, I am not classically trained in any of this. I'm not an economist, but I think the economy is really interesting right now. I almost believe that whatever happens is going to be super industry specific. When you look at a lot of the job layoffs in like the tech field and frankly, a lot of the industries that really boomed during, the shutdowns and the pandemic, stuff like that, it almost seems like they're kind of adjusting back to where they really should be, and they're making necessary layoffs to do that. I think they were probably overinflated during, the shutdown periods. With that being said, I am not afraid of whatever happens to the economy, and this brings me right into my second point of how I'm going to position myself and my business. So let me jump right into it. Here's the deal. I'm kind of going to contradict myself a little bit, but I think it'll make a lot of sense. So in the beginning of this video, I said I think there's a massive opportunity, especially if there's a downswing in the economy, but none of that is guaranteed. That's just a speculation. So what I'm really preparing for, regardless of what happens with the economy, I'm really just going to rest on my laurels to some degree. I really believe that if you outwork, outperform, and over deliver on all aspects of your business, you will really provide some floor for your business. So what if you have to work twice as hard, if things really take a downturn to make as much money as you made last year or whatever? At the end of the day, I truly believe that if you're willing to work hard and outperform and over deliver on all aspects of your business, let's say none of these big opportunities come and not a lot of people translate to the secondhand market if the economy really takes a downswing, I really believe those three elements can provide a floor for your business and almost make it recession proof. Again, that's just a buzzword. I don't know if I really believe in that term, but I do believe that you can provide somewhat of a floor and stability for your business. It might not be easy, it might not be pleasant, but I'm fully prepared to do that regardless of what happens with the markets and the economy. At the end of the day, that is nothing new for my business, so I'm fully prepared and willing to handle whatever happens. If you've been watching my journey over these past several years, you know that those are the laurels I kind of rest on: working hard, outperforming, over delivering. I also live extremely frugally. I'm a believer that you should minimize, especially if you're a business owner and you're in a growing stage of your business like I am, minimize as much expenses as you can, because that really provides you the most risk tolerance. Don't go out and buy that expensive car. I think I read somewhere that a lot of car leases and car payments are now pushing over $1,000 a month. That is unbelievable to me. So those are all things I am willing to forego for the greater good. You know, I'm willing to lay low and keep my expenses as minimal as possible for the long run of my business. And I really think that's another key aspect that will help anybody outlast whatever is happening in the economy. There you go. Those are my thoughts. That's my plan for my business, regardless of what happens with the looming recession or the markets or the economy, what have you. You heard it here. So if you were wondering, now you know my plan and my position on all this. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, what's going to happen with the economy, with the looming recession, or your strategies to withstand whatever happens with the economy. I'd really be curious, and I'd love to have some dialogue with each and every one of you down there. But with that being said, that is today's video. In the meantime, be good to one another, and I'll see y'all again. Peace.